Please stand by. I want to bring in a key member of the House Intelligence Committee right now, Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California. He just emerged from that all-day closed-door hearing with Michael Cohen. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Did you learn anything new from Michael Cohen's testimony today?
Oh boy, Wolf, that would be an understatement. We learned a lot of new things. I can't go into them. We're still interviewing him. He's coming back next week. But there's very valuable new leads that we learned, and he's been asked to bring back some documents to corroborate what he's told us. But we did find him to be cooperative and answered every question we asked.
So beyond what he said yesterday during the public hearing before the House Oversight Committee, you're suggesting that additional new information was released, very important, critical information. Is that right?
Yes, Wolf.
Did his testimony today behind closed doors, and I know you're restricted in what you can say until they release the transcript, and Adam Schiff says at one point they will release the transcript. Did he give your committee new reason to go ahead and subpoena additional witnesses in the investigation?
We certainly have learned about additional relevant witnesses, and that includes what we heard yesterday on the Oversight Committee. And I think this is really also a matter of, the different committees of jurisdiction sorting out, which one will take up which witness. But I found him, Wolf, I have to say, different than when we interviewed him back in October 2017. There was just more of a carefulness to his presentation today. He did not want, to say anything that could be misleading or inaccurate. I didn't see him demonstrate that concern when he testified in October 2017. And I also, when he perjured himself before the Congress, he also now has a sword of Damocles, if you will, hanging over his head, in that he has seen that Paul Manafort went from being a cooperative witness with the government to lying during that cooperation agreement, and now faces 19 to 24 years in prison. I just got the sense, because Michael Cohen seems very concerned about his family, he does not want to touch that same hot stove.
Can you tell us what kind of documents you'd like to get that you want him to bring to your committee next time around?
I wish I could, Wolf, but the pledge that Chairman Schiff has made is that we're going to try and make this transcript available, as soon as the testimony is over, and we check to make sure it's not invading on any investigative, open investigations that are out there.
Tell us why you want to bring Felix Sater, this mysterious individual who was involved with Michael Cohen in the planning of a Trump Tower in Moscow. Why do you want to bring him before your committee?
Felix Sater is a Russian-American who has worked with Donald Trump in the past, has worked to bring a Trump Tower to New York, and is the one who pitched Michael Cohen on a Trump Tower in Moscow. This individual worked on the 26th floor of Trump Tower, the same floor Donald Trump was on. He had a Trump Organization business card, and so he was very close to Donald Trump and very involved in the Trump Tower Moscow deal. So there will be public benefit to understand why a presidential candidate was seeking to put a tower in Moscow at the same time that we're starting to learn about Russia's attacks on our democracy. And I think that'll be very illuminating.
Is he coming to your committee voluntarily, or has he been subpoenaed?
I don't want to misspeak on that, Wolf, so I'm not clear. I'll just say we do seek to have every witness come forward voluntarily. I'm not aware of a subpoena that's been issued.
And why did you decide, you and Adam Schiff and your committee, to have his testimony be done in public?
Because of the public value of understanding, again, you have a candidate for president of the United States, somebody who is also a business person, and he's mixing the two. He's doing business in Moscow throughout the presidential campaign, beyond the Iowa caucus, the New Hampshire primary, and not just with the British or Mexico. He's doing it with an adversary, and an adversary that we would later learn in the campaign was working against our interests and interfering in our elections. So it's important that the American people understand what Donald Trump's role was in that Trump Tower project.
The president says Michael Cohen's testimony yesterday, the president claims it proves his assertion there was no collusion. Michael Cohen did testify that he had no evidence of collusion, although he said he has his own personal suspicions of collusion. How do you see it?
So first, Michael Cohen said he has no direct evidence of collusion, but he has suspicions of collusion. And Wolf, as you know, in the law, direct evidence and circumstantial evidence are treated the same. However, it's interesting that the president and his supporters in Congress like to pull out what helps them as to what Michael Cohen says, but then dismisses everything he says that hurts them and calls him, a convicted liar. You have to take the good and the bad here, and when you take the good and the bad, it's all bad for Donald Trump.
Do you believe Michael Cohen provided key information to the special counsel, Robert Mueller, about the collusion part of the investigation?
I can just tell you, based on what we've seen from Michael Cohen's, his plea, that he's provided hours of testimony to the special counsel. This is a team that's moving expeditiously, doesn't have time to waste, and I would just conclude that looking at how long he spent with them as compared to others who have been relevant, it would appear that he has been quite helpful to me.
What was your assessment, Congressman, of what Michael Cohen had to say about Roger Stone, Assange, WikiLeaks, the release of all those damaging Democratic Hillary Clinton emails during the campaign?
When I watched Michael Cohen testify yesterday about the exchange with Roger Stone, it really had just confirmed what most of us had believed based on all of the arrows pointing in the direction that Roger Stone had told Donald Trump about what Julian Assange was doing. We know from our investigation 2 years ago, Donald Trump and Roger Stone have been pals for years. They always talked about politics. They talked on the phone often throughout the campaign, and they met in person often. So it would actually be unnatural for Roger Stone not to tell Donald Trump about this. And just to take a step back, Wolf, Roger Stone says that his conversations with WikiLeaks were completely innocent. And if they were completely innocent, then why wouldn't he have told Donald Trump about it? If they were nefarious and he was trying to protect him, then you could understand why. So it just adds up to everything that we believe we knew from our prior investigation.
Congressman Eric Swalwell of the Intelligence Committee, you guys have been busy all day. Thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Wolf.